Welcome back to yet another exciting episode of the Young and Health Talk Show, where we tackle everything concerning the sexual and reproductive health rights of the young people in and around Zimbabwe. It's been a minute, yo. It's good to have you back. And I'm so excited today to be joined by the Zimbabwe Republic Police and the Ministry of Health, where we are going to unpack drug and substance use and misuse and how it has just unfortunately turned to be a pandemic in our very own country. And our young people are being hooked in this drug and substance misuse, which is very sad. So join us as we get to talk about drug and substance use and misuse and the interventions that are being done to curb this situation. My name is Wesley Maple. Welcome to Young and Health Talk Show.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much.
So firstly, I would want you to introduce yourselves from the different sectors that you're coming from. We can as well start with you.
My name is Elio Chitakwa. I'm the mental health coordinator for Masvingo district, working in the Ministry of Health and Child Care.
All right.
I'm Lorraine Lovo, the Assistant Community Relations Liaison Officer or Assistant Police Spokesperson, Masvingo Province, ZRP.
Thank you so much. I'm very glad to be with you here because you're the key people when we're talking about drug and substance use and misuse in Masvingo as well as Zimbabwe as a whole. So firstly, from your different sectors, I'm pretty sure there's a different maybe way you define drug and substance use and misuse. So I would like to hear from you. What is drug and substance use and misuse?
Thank you so much for the question. When we talk of substance use, we mean misusing of substances for the wrong reasons. For example, we have got cannabis, banje. That cannabis, it's grown for medicinal purposes, but if one smokes it, it becomes abuse.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, my own definition of drug abuse, it's the taking in or in the ingestion of a substance that impairs the normal function of the body of a person.
Okay. Interesting. I think I have my own definition as well. Looking at the situations, I know you deal with drug and substance use and misuse in different ways, depending on the sectors that you're from. So, what are the effects of drug and substance abuse? We generally know the other effects, but yeah, I would want to hear it from you.
All right, there are various effects of substance abuse. When one takes substances, for example, cannabis, as I've said before, it affects the body, the systems of the body. The mental aspect becomes affected, which actually causes mental illness, and other areas of other systems of the body are affected as well.
Yeah.
We have got cancer, which can come as a result of creams that normally girls use, creams that they buy in the streets.
Oh, I didn't know that was actually part of drug and substance misuse. Okay, interesting.
Yes.
All right.
We also have got lung cancer, kidney problems, heart problems, and there are so many.
Yeah, there are so many. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, from my side, from the organization as ZRP, we normally deal with those effects which affect the liberty of others or the rights of other persons. So I'm going to talk about those effects which affect the other persons. A person who has ingested drug or has taken in drugs can vandalize properties of other people's, can do crimes like sexual offenses, can indulge in domestic violence cases. If they are youths or school-going peoples, lots of absenteeism from school, bullying others at school. If they are grown-ups like adults who take drugs, mostly they will indulge in domestic violence cases, misuse of funds at home, unable to provide for the family, since most of the funds will be going to buy drugs, and most of the time the parents will be drugged So he will be not able to feed for the family, to work for the family. So we will indulge in those activities like going on stealing to look for money to get the drugs.
It's so sad how these situations are occurring. But then, besides the usual, because when I was growing up, I just thought drug and substance abuse it's only limited to alcohol. But you find out there is a lot when it comes to what people use. So I would like to just hear what are most of the drugs that are being misused in our communities.
Right. Substances that we normally see that are being abused, cannabis is the most common, and we also have got alcohol, the hot spirits that we see, vamwe vanoti zvikozodo.
Okay.
Yes. We also have got crystal meth. We've got cough syrups, for example, Bronglier.
Yeah.
They call it bronco in the streets. It's one of the abused. Then there is cocaine, there is heroin, but these ones are rare. But the most common that we see is cannabis, alcohol, crystal meth, and even tobacco.
Interesting. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, madam. Some of the drugs which these young persons or adults use, they can use the glue. That is glue which we use for adhesive glues. They can use it as a drug. Okay. Like baby napkins, those pampers, they can use those pampers to, I don't know the substance which is in those pampers, which they use to use as a drug for them to be feel. Some of them they say they will make us feel high. Those pampers. Some of them they use globes. These fluorescent globes. There's a certain substance which is in the globe there. That millimillion like substance which is in the globe. They use it to inhale. That's some of the drugs which these youths use.
That's very sad. You know, looking at young people, in your different sectors, you've seen young people who are misusing drug and substances. How is their lifestyle effect affected with looking at a young person?
Sure. When one takes substances, the life for sure it's affected in a number of ways. These days, we are witnessing school dropouts as a result of abuse of substances. Yeah. Some of the girls get pregnant because of the abuse of drugs. They get pregnant because when they are abuse drugs or when they are forced to abuse the drugs, they sometimes get unconscious and eventually they may be raped. Right. Yeah. And when they get raped, they become pregnant, and also we've got other issues like HIV. The youth normally use injections, they normally use syringes. You find that when they use syringes, they can use one needle on several clients. So as a result, there is a high risk of getting HIV. There's also STIs. So when that happens, you find that the families are affected as well. There is some family problems that you might see happening in our communities, fights that we see in the communities.
Okay, interesting. Okay, this one is specifically for you. We were having this discussion on how drug misuse can actually lead to crimes. Can you just break it down on how it leads to crime?
Okay, thank you, madam. Yeah, when a person has been into drugs, he become addicted, such that he will not be able to live without those drugs. Yeah. The way drugs act on him, it will force him to do anything for him to get some funds to buy the drugs. So a person can commit crimes like stealing, robbing, just in order to get some funds in order to buy those drugs. Okay. Some of these drugs, since they give a person what we call Dutch courage. That courage, that person can do anything without shame or without fearing anything. Yeah. You can do anything. You can go ahead raping a person. Since a drug, someone can hallucinate, like saying a person see a mother or a grandmother there, he looks young, like young and beautiful, and you'll be wanting to indulge in criminality with that person, sexual offenses, sexual harassment, under those influence of drugs.
It's very sad. Yeah. It's very
These
sad.
are some of the crimes, like those what I have already mentioned about domestic violence cases. Mostly some of them are occurred because of people will be under the influence of drugs.
So now we all this has been said. We want to know. I'll just start with the ministry. What is the Ministry of Health doing in order to cap the situation?
Yeah, there's a lot that is happening. We have got 3 approaches that we normally use in dealing with the drug abuse. First of all, we have got what we call health promotion. Okay. By health promotion, we are sharing information. We are empowering youth. We are empowering the communities with information on the dangers of drug abuse. So we are going around schools, educating the children. We also go to churches and social gatherings. Yeah. We try to empower people to have the knowledge that drug abuse is so harmful to their health. And we are also doing campaigns. At the same time, we are, as Ministry of Health, we are empowering the health workers, especially the nurses, okay, on how to deal with the cases of drug abuse. That's the first approach. Then the approach, we are also treating the victims of drug abuse. Okay. In all our health facilities, we offer mental health services to the victims of drug abuse. So that's pillar number 2. Then the third one, we try to rehabilitate those who are into drugs. Yeah. Those who need admission, okay, we normally admit them. And let me also say that all the services that are within our country, in terms of mental health, they are for free. Oh. So we are giving them free treatment. We are rehabilitating them when they are discharged from hospitals. For example, here we have got Ngoma in Mashingo. When they are discharged, we try and continue the rehabilitation. That's what we are doing as.
That's good work. That's good work. Thank you so much. I would also go to the Zimbabwe Republic Police. What are the interventions that you are doing to cap the situation of drug and substance misuse?
Yes, the police, the law is not there to punish, but to correct the behaviors of some peoples. Okay. We are there also to protect the rights and the liberties of all the citizens of Zimbabwe. Okay. So we also do the same as the health services do. We move around carrying out crime awareness campaigns. Okay. The dangers of drugs, the effects of drugs, and why do we want people to desist from taking these drugs? We also arrest offenders. Like say, we have carried out some campaigns, but people are not following what we are saying. We arrest those who break the law, or those who are seen taking drugs, or those who are seen transporting drugs, delivering drugs. We arrest them. And under the criminal law codification, that is from section 165, it covers offenses to do with the drugs.
Yeah.
From Section 165 of the Criminal Law Codification and Reform Act, it covers those who deal in drugs, those who dealing in drugs, women, selling the drugs, importing the drugs, exporting the drugs. Those are the classes of people which we say they will be arrested under Section 65 of the Section 156 of the Criminal Law Codification and Reform Act.
Okay.
Section 156. And when they've been arrested, we take them to the courts.
Okay.
Where they will be given, some will be made to pay fines, some will be given custodial sentences, some will be given community service, ranging with the type of or quantity of drugs which you have been seen in possession of.
Okay. Just looking at the situation right now in Mashingo, as also in Zimbabwe as a whole, what other things do you think could say, probably if we do this, it'll help in reducing the number of young people who are hooking up with drugs and a lot of funny substances that you've been saying?
Yeah, I think it's the duty of everyone, of every citizen of Zimbabwe, for us to fight this menace of drug abuse.
Yeah.
It starts with the parents at home.
Yeah.
The parents should monitor the behavior of their kids, the way they dress, their friends.
Okay.
How are they communicating with other peoples out there? They should monitor. It starts at home. It's the parents' duty to monitor the child when he is growing up.
Yeah,
also, the society can help by providing some projects for the youths. The youths can do backyard projects like rearing some chickens.
Yeah, to keep them busy.
Doing gardening, in order to keep them busy, not to indulge in those drug and substance abuse.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure you have something to say.
Yeah, sure. It's also very important to create a conducive environment within homes.
Yeah.
The homes must play a very key role in ensuring that the home is safe and there are no abuses that we normally see in the homes, because if the environment at home is so abusive, children tend to run away and to find something to occupy themselves, and usually they run into drugs because the environment at home is not so good.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yes. So that is what we normally want to see, and I think it's also necessary to continue preaching this gospel of anti-drug abuse in homes and also in the churches. I think it's sorry to say this, but I think it's necessary for people to also to go to church.
Yeah. It just gives you a control panel.
Yes. Yeah, because if they go to church, there are a lot of lessons there that are taught in churches, and when we do that, I think it will help in some way.
Okay. I would really once again just try to appreciate what you are doing in terms of curbing the situation. Just looking at our legal systems and everything, are there any gaps that you think are there in this situation?
Yeah, the gaps are there. On our side, as Minister of Health, I think there is need for more institutions to be built so that we can accommodate those that become violent, those that are mentally ill, because the numbers are rising and we have nowhere to put them. We can't take somebody who is violent to a hospital where there are people who are very ill.
Yes, so there's probably need for more rehabilitation centers.
Rehabilitation centers are needed as well. And there's a gap in knowledge. People need to be taught that drugs are very are harmful to their health.
Okay. All right. Ma'am, do you have anything?
Yeah, I think on the law side, those who will be found taking those drugs or dealing in drugs should be given stiffer sentences at courts, not just like paying fines or doing community service. If they get stiffer sentences, I think they will desist from indulging in drugs. Also, I think if our government, I can say you can look for my universities, colleges, and schools should do compulsory subjects. Like in South Africa, there's something which they call life science. I think here in Zimbabwe, we have to do something like that. Teaching our kids, teaching our youths what is life. Compulsory subject for everyone who is undergoing school.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just for a roundup, what are the last words you would want to say to our viewers, who are watching, and the young people out there concerning drug and substance use and misuse?
I think it's very important for the youth to know that it's their responsibility. Health is their responsibility. They should take care of their health, because when one takes a drug, that drug gets into that person's body, and it is that body that is affected, not the other person. So the youth should know that if you take drugs, you are not fixing anyone. You are just causing a problem to your health.
You're fixing yourself.
Yeah, you're fixing yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, to those who take drugs out there, I just wanted to assure you that the law is behind you. We will not hesitate to catch with you up and array you to the courts. So stay away from drugs. Be a responsible person. Work for yourselves. And mostly drug users, they have that dependence syndrome. You have to work for yourselves. Don't indulge in drugs. One day the law will catch with you up.
Okay, thank you so much.
I want also to say that as means of health, our door is open for those that are struggling with drugs, those who want to quit. They are welcome. We'll receive them, we'll help them as much as possible without condemning them.
Okay.
So we are saying our door is open as means of health. We are there to help.
All right, that's a very important information. So where are you found in Masvingo?
At Masvingo Provincial Hospital.
Okay.
Yes. And let me say that all the health facilities, they offer mental health services.
All right.
So wherever one goes, they will have a service. Our nurses are trained to deal with mental health cases.
All right. Thank you so much. I do not have anything to add. I think you've just had for yourself. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Catch you again next time. Don't forget to follow our social media platforms, YouTube at 263 TV, Facebook at 263 TV, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. Don't forget to follow and like our pages for more information on the sexual and reproductive health rights of the youth. My name is Wesley. Don't you forget that. Thank you.